Let's go to R2D2.
All right, so R2, I've always wanted an R2D2 since I was 8, and I didn't even see the movie till I was 12. Um, yeah, we first time I ever saw Star Wars day after Christmas, '96. Me, my mom, and my brother just watched all three of them in a row,
Oh, that's
um, in one marathon, and then the special editions came out like that next month.
wow.
Um, but so R2 here was kind of a so going back to the moon suit. When I first started this as a adult with disposable income, um, I was very adamant on competing and making things people haven't seen before.
Hmm.
Like you don't see too many Daleks floating around Dragon Con. I think there's like one or two more now.
Hmm.
And the Big Daddy suits, are much rarer than the splicers and stuff.
Hmm.
And the moon suits were rare for a little while. But then, like the next Dragon Con, a bunch of people were showing up as astronauts. um, the but R2, he was always like on my wish list, but I kept like, well, there's thousands of them. Like when you go to Dragon Con, there's like a whole little parade of R2D2s.
Hmm.
Um, and what finally prompted me to start building him was back in 2014, I was buying a house.
Hmm.
Well, this house. And I didn't have time to build anything for competition. So I started finally getting the parts I needed from the R2 Builders Club. So there's
Hmm.
no one kit you can buy to build an R2D2,
Hmm.
but various members, like if someone has the mold for the hologram projector, they'll sell castings and stuff. So, we all kind of pool our resources. Like one guy has the metal equipment to spin the aluminum dome.
Hmm.
He'll do a run like every now and then.
Hmm.
So it is a lot if you're trying to figure out what to build your droid out of.
Hmm.
So I started buying the part, and then they were just sitting for a while. And then, so I'm going to back up here for a little bit.
Sure.
Uh, Going to conventions prior to 2015 was so I started going to conventions when I was 24. So my first convention was, I believe, 2010.
Hmm.
So this is, years after Revenge of the Sith. Clone Wars just premiered in like 2008.
Hmm.
Um, but prior to 2015 was a weird time for Star Wars because there was no middle ground anymore. Either you never saw the movies or you like read every single book
Yeah.
and knew like the serial number on Han Solo's gun. So I actually was consciously staying away from Star Wars stuff for a while because it was like I love the movies. They are a big part of my life, but I have not gone and read any of the old legacy stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but again, I want an R2D2. Well, the day after Thanksgiving, 2014 was the teaser trailer for Force Awakens,
Hmm.
and that was the big light switch because that was all right. I'm getting this thing done because I want to do the stuff with the movie premieres and the children's hospitals. So I spent the next 5 months actually cutting all the parts, putting them together. So basically, what he is he's a aluminum dome. The skin is styrene plastic,
Hmm.
um, and it's actually hand cut with a hobby knife. And then he's got a plywood skeleton.
Hmm.
Um, so this is kind of a mid-range droid because some of them can be built out of just pure styrene, and
Hmm.
then I know people who make them completely out of aluminum with all the panels
Wow.
that open up. Some people have the stun gun. Some people make them walk, and I'm like, I just need him to roll, play music, and turn his head. That's all I need him to do.
It's true.
Um, and so he was ready in May that year. So I took him to a few conventions, but I'm like, all right, he's going to be like most projects. He's going to do his year of cons, and then he'll get because again, I go to Dragon Con and you see an army of these things, so you kind
Hmm.
of take for granted. Well, when you go to the smaller cons, or you start doing non-con events and you see people just light up because they don't even know these exist. They think
Right.
Disney owns all of them, and it's like they don't even know these fan-made ones exist.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, he did a few conventions, but then the day the movie came out, we visited Children's of Alabama in Birmingham, and he met the patients there, and that was the big, like, okay, we got to do this more often. I
Mm.
mean, I was crying really bad because it's one was just so stereo, like, people think I'm making this up because it just sounds so cliche, but there was a kid. He had his head was in a bandage, his arm was in a cast, and he had the IV rack.
Mm.
I mean, think stereotypical sick kid. You had this kid,
Yeah.
and he literally hugged the droid and said, "This is the best day ever." And yeah, I just kind of like lost it.
How often do you get to do this? I mean, obviously in the world
So
right
the
now it's weird,
hosp
but
yeah, well, in the old world, so he was getting out about like 2 times a month.
wow.
So between him and Kylo Ren with the 501st, like usually like every other weekend or so, like we're either doing a charity walk or a car show or a convention or a
Mm.
fundraiser, or he's actually been in 4 weddings now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been a ring bearer. He's been a ring bearer and a flower girl. And then there was one that we just crashed the reception. So
That's
like,
so great.
yeah, they did the sappy dances, and then they played the Imperial March because it was a geek themed wedding. And
Amazing.
then yeah, so it was a geek themed wedding actually in the Davidson Center under the Saturn V.
Mm.
And yeah, they played the Imperial March. So we come out with R2, Vader, a legion of stormtroopers, and the bride just completely lost it. Like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
That's so crazy. Oh my God. Just because I think some people may not know, could you explain to the folks who the 501st is? I'm aware of them, but I think you'd explain.
The 501st is a professional costuming organization. It's completely nonprofit. We don't make any money doing this. And basically, it's people who make film accurate costumes, particularly the bad guys
Mm.
like Vader, Stormtroopers. And basically, what we do is we just kind of promote Star Wars, and we try to help organizations best we can. So like charities and hospitals that want to, surprise their patrons with appearances by Darth Vader and stormtroopers, they get a hold of us, and then we come by and we try to put smiles on faces and help raise money when we can.